Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, LarryWBrooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we have over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Great day. How are you? Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the city of Houston, but especially here in the great state of Texas, anywhere from Houston, Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you this week, just like it is every week. We have a really exciting show planned for you all. It's really informative, and we promise to shed light on some issues that you may have not considered before today's episode. So if you're checking us out live on YouTube, get involved. Send us a question in the comments section, and our super producer may very well choose to have your question answered on today's episode. But as always, man, we're really excited, and we're glad you're here tapped in with us this week. I want to take some time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him so much for sitting in with us this week, and I'd like to introduce to our audience the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. LarryWBrooks. How you doing?
Hey, what up, Ric? Listen, man, it's real estate season, baby. It don't stop. You know,
Man.
I'm sitting over here and I'm laughing because in the earlier meeting I was in, everyone is talking about, you know, how they talked about how the interest rates are going to be going down about 3 to 4 times next year. So everybody in the industry is posting about it. They're talking about it. Everybody excited about what may be getting ready to take place. But, you know, hey, to me, it's just always buying and selling season in real estate, man.
I mean, it's great to be so informative and let the public know about what's going on and keep them at the forefront of any potential changes that's happening in the real estate industry.
Yeah.
But Larry, just like you and I both know, man, it's always a great season to be buying, selling, or investing, especially here in the great state of Texas and the city of Houston, man. So thank you so much for sharing, and appreciate you for tapping in with us this week, brother. How has it been? What's been going on? And
Man,
how's the world been for the Texas Real Estate King?
Things are good, man. I can't complain at all. Just trying to stay focused. You know, it's going into the last few days of the year. So, you know, for me, things get a little bit more bogged down because of responsibilities, you know, tax season, all that other stuff. You know how it is being an entrepreneur. Our taxes look a little different than other people. So, you know, getting ready for that type of stuff that's taking place, man. But just keep your ear to the streets when it comes to the real estate industry, because we are such a buzz right now when it comes to the interest rates, when it comes to if right now is a good time to buy and sell. I actually had tuned in on Monday. HAR on the platinum agents. It hosts an event where it hosts a caller that comes in and talks about what's going on in the market, what we can expect in the future. And we had an economist that came on this past Monday, and he talked about, you know, where we looked at 2024. I mean, what we looked like in 2023. Actually in 2022, and what 2024 could possibly look like for us. So I'm kind of excited about just the information that I took in.
You know, it's great that, you know, you stay tapped in from that standpoint, because we all know how, especially in our industry, it's so important to continuously educate yourself and always know what's going on, so that the information that we're passing on to our clients, our partners, people we meet and educate can always be that freshest, most recent information, man. And, you know, I think sometimes, and you bring up a great point about some of the things that they offer through HAR, Could you just talk about some of the true value of being a platinum member of HAR? Because I think sometimes, especially within the local real estate community, that can be kind of undersold. And
Yeah.
sometimes people don't always see all the value in being a platinum member of HAR.
Well, definitely, and not only that, it's amazing because the access of the tools that you get. Now, being a regular member is fine as well, but the platinum gives you a few extra tools that you can put in your toolbox when you're doing listing presentations, when you're doing buyer consultations, and not only that, I always advise other realtors that I come in contact with, and our guests will talk about a little bit about this as well. But being a member of our pack, being a member of Tree Pack, man, that is the thing. That's the biggest value add that we have when it comes to being realtors, because those are the things our realtor party protects our licensees and people that are buying and purchasing homes, people that are getting involved in real estate. So those are some of the things that through our association, we're kept on the front lines. We understand what's going on. We have a true open dialogue when it comes to what that looks like for us as HAR members. So definitely got to buy into that, and definitely anyone that's getting licensed need to be a part of such a powerful association so that they got those tools, man. If nothing else, they got those tools and those resources to help blow their business up.
And that just brings us to why we're so excited about today's episode of the show, because I think a lot of times, especially from a business standpoint or a real estate standpoint, we don't always illustrate how real estate, business, government, politics, how they all work hand in hand, and how they all are part of the machine that keeps the Texas economy going. And that's why we're so lucky, and our audience is so lucky that we have this week's guest on the show. So before I introduce this week's guest, and I'm really excited to have her on, could you just give our audience a little bit of the background of your two relationship and how you were able to get this fine lady to commit to sitting in with us today on the Prime Real Estate Network?
Definitely. Like you said earlier in the beginning of the show, I'm always been prided myself in being involved with our association. And I met Amber through our personal association as well. So that association, she's always been a leader. She's with the HAR staff. And so she leads particular parts of the organization. And I've served on her advisory committees and advisory groups in the past, and just had an opportunity of just continuing to be involved. Like this year, I'll be leading up our HAR conference that we host. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, it's been knowing Amber many years. She definitely stands out in her position, and I'm honored to have her on the show today. Actually, one of our very first HAR members to ever be on the show. So I'm excited about that.
Nah, man, thank you so much for sharing that with our audience, man, because I want to invite everyone who's checking us out now. Like, subscribe, share this episode, tag a friend, tag another realtor, tag someone who needs to gain this knowledge on how your real estate business has so much to do with the governmental activities and the recent election that just passed. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. She is the Director of Governmental Affairs for the Houston Association of Realtors. I want to thank her so much for sitting in with us. And I'd like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, Ms. Amber Burton.
Hey, thanks
for
having me.
Amber?
Excited to be here.
Thank you so much, Amber, for sitting in. Man, Larry and I were so excited when when you committed to sitting in with us, especially considering the recent runoff election that just passed here in the city of Houston, the general election that was held in November. So first things first, for those who haven't had the opportunity to hear you speak or to meet you personally, could you just give them an idea of the role in which you serve the Houston Association of Realtors as the Director of Governmental Affairs?
For sure. Thank y'all for having me. Real funny though, Larry. I actually got to know Larry because my husband told me I need to get to know him because he says he sells real estate everywhere. My husband moved from Port Arthur, Texas. Him and his brother, he was their first real estate agent back in the early 2000s.
That is a fact. No doubt about it. Listen, I touched the city, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, so you really do work the city. I love realtors. I love what y'all are doing. Thank you for having me. A little bit real quick about my background. I always ask people, did you even know that your association had a director of governmental affairs and advocacy? A lot of times people don't. I know Larry does, and Mike Davis. You guys have always come to Austin with us. We go lobby our state legislators, but out of the 50,000 members that we have at HAR, real estate professionals, probably less than 5% of those are really engaged in politics.
Wow.
Which is not enough. You guys have such a great number of people. So I'm here to kind of keep y'all in the loop on what's going on, galvanize you guys, also work directly with our elected officials, government entities, different people for policy change. When y'all come to me with the issue, whether it be a zoning issue, permitting issue at the local level, or something to do with FEMA or HUD at the federal level, I'm able to navigate that for you all and have direct contact. My job is to make sure I know who's who. So I know who's over FEMA, who's over the general land office when it comes to flooding. So all those things are kind of what I do, and stay in front. I try to stay in front of the issues. To me, if it becomes a problem, then I'm not doing the best job I could do.
You know,
Well,
Amber,
I'll say this: you do an amazing job at staying in front of the issues and keeping us abreast. That I can personally say you do an amazing job at, Amber.
Thank you. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, Amber, one of the great things about not only your introduction, but Larry's introduction before we introduce you is that Larry talks a lot about how important it is to go to Austin, be active. It's part of your job description to consistently keep us informed, lobby in Austin, be that go-between communication-wise from those members of HAR and those that are in Austin shaping policy. Shaping those governmental issues. So I want to ask you this, and this is our first question. How few real estate professionals truly understand the ramifications of governmental policy and how that affects their livelihood, how they're able to conduct business? And is it really, truly important for all of those agents to actively get involved? Because like you mentioned, Larry and Michael, that's something that has always been a foundational part of not only their business, but also their educational process. But why are there not enough agents that are active from that standpoint, you think?
I think it just reflects society as a whole. There's a lot of voter apathy. If you look at the recent election, you have 2 million voters registered in Harris County. I'm not exactly sure of how many number in Houston, but half that probably. And you have less than 200,000 people who actually vote. So, wow. Right. So in Texas, we have a lot of people registered to vote, but the percentage of people who actually go vote is so low. So it's not just a real estate issue. It's a people issue. People, especially our generation. I don't know exactly how old you are, but we're about the same age.
Yep.
Millennials, Gen X. We're the worst because we're at work. We doing deals. We handling cases, selling houses. Oh, I'm gonna go on Saturday. Then when you think about it, it's over. You're like, next time. In the meantime, you got people, when you didn't vote, someone got elected that is going directly against the best interest for your profession or for your life. So it's just a problem. But I think realtors, like I always say, hey, y'all put out signs every day to sell these houses. Y'all take some of these political yard signs, put that out too. Like y'all are the best people positioned because you have no problem talking to strangers, going to places you've never been before. So I think y'all could do better about using your capital and what you do every day to like incorporate the importance of voting, your clients voting, because like your clients are looking for best schools, safe places, taxes, right? They don't want to. Those are all issues that you guys deal with every day that are directly related to the government. So why not?
And another thing, Amber, because I'm typically, when we're speaking to the agents in the office, even as we're trying to get them more active, more out there voting, having them look at some of the candidates that we choose with our PAC. How is it that HAR, just so they can hear from you, how is it that HAR vets some of the people that we put on the list that we say, hey, this would be good for us in the real estate industry? How is it that we vet some of the people who are the candidates?
Okay, that's a great question. So we have three departments. We have TreePack that Larry mentioned earlier. That's our fundraising arm. Then we have like a three-legged stool. Then we have political affairs, who does candidate interviews with members, member-driven. Right. And then there's my department that I build the bridges. I'm either knowing who's going to run for office, have relationships with those in office. And then if we don't pick the right person,
Mm-hmm.
and their opponent wins, I got to go and make that relationship for you all.
Okay. Okay.
I try not to be involved in the candidate interviews because I'm the lobbyist, right? I'm the one that's going to make the ask later. So if something goes wrong, then I can be like, I don't know, I wasn't in that interview. This is our, this, you know, the realtors. And then I sometimes bring the realtors in. It's like, hey, y'all say y'all went behind this person, but they didn't win. So I need y'all to come with me so we can make this right. So it's a three-legged stool. You start by giving your TreePack contribution. You can get involved by connecting candidate interviews. We also go to events, fundraisers, different things so you can see people in their element. We also do phone banking once you guys have selected somebody. But I really like people to know that, yes, y'all have many staff and other staff members, but this is a member-driven association. So member doesn't pick who the HAR supports for mayor. I give y'all the information, the tools, make sure they're there, but y'all interview the candidates and the members pick who's the person. So that's another reason why it's important to get involved. So you can have a
That's
voice.
right. That's right. I definitely want you to say that. Definitely.
Thank you. Great question.
No, from an organizational standpoint, considering that the runoff election just completed last week here in the city of Houston, are there any candidates that, as an organization, that we're most excited about? Were there any new blood that got in, or are there any incumbents that we've supported in the past that we're most excited to work with or most excited to see what they do in office come January?
So you're trying to ask the hard questions. We're excited about our candidates. I would say this, our major win was the Houston mayor's race. It was an open seat, and we had several great candidates in there. We had two heavy hitters with Sheila Jackson-Lee, who's a congresswoman, and John Whitmire, who's a state senator. I wouldn't say they were new blood. They have a wealth of information, knowledge. They've been around the game for a long time. And that's maybe, I think, what Houston needs right now as we go, the same expertise that Mayor Turner brought from the state legislature to here. We need some people who actually know what to do, like who know how to deal with everybody, know the governor, know the president, things like that. So HAR hadn't chosen the right mayoral candidate since, I think, Mayor Lee Brown, which is before any of us were probably adults. So I'm very excited that we got it right out the gate, even though it was a hard decision, but the members vetted everybody, met with everyone, spent 8 hours interviewing all the candidates, which was awesome. I'm proud of that. And we got it right. And we won the majority of the races for all of our incumbents except one. And then it's really hard when you have open seats, because there's like sometimes in the mayoral race, there's 18 candidates. So it's very hard to pick the right one.
Wow.
So it's a huge win that we did. And in the runoff, we won those races as well. So yeah, I'm excited. And a lot of times, like I said, with networking, I know a lot of these people, like for instance, Martha Castex Tatum, who's a member, realtor. And I remember Larry and Mike had a event for her at their office years ago. She won without any
TRLP class 2015, best class ever. Martha was in that with me. Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. I'm sorry. I just said, we got to plug that when that comes.
No, you got to represent. You got to represent.
Maybe done TRLP. That's another great initiative we have.
That's right. Get on Rick about it. I've been sending it to him, and I've been telling him over and over again. Yep.
Yes. The TRLP absolutely is a great thing.
Totally.
So, no, I want to ask you this as well, because having you on with us, what makes it so powerful is that I wanted to give you an opportunity to illustrate for our audience, those that are entrepreneurs and business owners, members of HAR and realtors, but also at the same time, explaining to those buyers, sellers, homeowners in the city that so value their property, their home, and want to protect values and taxes and things like that. What makes these type of general elections so important for those ordinary citizens? Now, of course, we all need to take advantage of our right to vote, like you talked about the apathy, and we need to work past that. But just for those who just want to focus on protecting their nest egg, generating wealth for generations, and building up those things for their family now and into the future. What makes getting involved in these general elections so important for them to take care of their family and to keep a focus on what it is that they feel like is going to propel them to that next level?
Well, our founding fathers created a representative democracy, meaning we have to elect someone to represent our best interest. And so many times I see people either not vote or vote for the wrong person for the wrong reasons against their own best interest. So you brought up property taxes. Even if you didn't have a city council election, let's say you live in Sugar Land like me in Fort Bend County, I still voted because we had constitutional amendments to our state constitution on the ballot. And one of them was increasing the property taxes homestead exemption from 40,000 to 100,000. So you talk about preserving your wealth. That was huge. And it passed, thank goodness. But not a lot of people voted because they didn't know there was even an amendment to the Constitution. But 40 to 100,000, that's a $60,000 increase on your tax exemption. You talk about preserving your wealth. But going down to the local level, the small level, knowing who your city council member is means when you keep seeing your neighbor not pick their trash can up and there's trash all over your cul-de-sac, knowing that person in a city, they will come out and address that. Or let's say they're not picking your trash up. The city's not, I know Houston has that issue where the city's not picking their trash up. But those people, constituents who know who their council member and can call and say, hey, here is the second week in a row and my trash didn't get picked up. They can make a difference. So even something that small that affects your everyday life, you still need to talk to elected officials sometimes to make it happen. And then when it comes to housing inventory and the lack of it, that's a major issue we're dealing with at the local level, is where people aren't building homes that the average everyday person could buy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that means we need to work with developers. We need to work with our local government to create easier paths and affordable paths for homes to be built so you all can sell them. That's my number one focus right now, because there's 50,000 realtor members of HAR, and at any given time, there might be around 12 to 15,000 listings on HR.com. So that's definitely not adding up. And one thing we do is we send stats on the home sales every month to our elected officials, and so they know, the average home price in Martha Castex Tatum's area, District K, is $300,000. So that means most homeowners, a lot of people that live in her district, probably can't afford to live there. They might work there, they might want to live there, but they can't afford to buy a home there. Right. So we try to keep them in the loop on stuff like that.
Something that's so interesting is you mentioned how important it is to stay in communication with your local representatives that represent your district. Why is it that so many citizens don't really understand how approachable or how connected they can be to those local representatives? Because, on election night, you see their name on television, you see the scroll, you may see a picture, and they may seem almost like a celebrity in a way, someone who you can't reach out to, who you couldn't approach. Right. How accessible are these people to their constituents? And why is it that you think so few citizens reach out to the people that they've elected from that standpoint?
I think what you said is true. Somewhat, some politicians, especially now since we have President Trump and with the social media, they really do have a celebrity status, right? My aunt in Pennsylvania was calling me, asking about, is Sheila Jackson Lee gonna win? But I said, how do you know that? She's like, I saw her on CNN. Like, a lot of these people do have celebrity status. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's why I keep saying local, because think about it. If you are the mayor of Houston, you have 4 million people you represent, you may not be as accessible because you just have the sheer time and you're one person. But your district council member only represents a certain amount of people. So getting to know them, supporting them, they remember that, because like I said, when you have a low voter turnout, if you show up to somebody's fundraiser or their block walking event, they're never going to forget that. So that's right. That's one way of building a relationship. But also, I got an email today from a state rep because someone was trying to take their appraisal exam they have to take every year and they couldn't get in. And the state rep emailed me to say one of your members can't take their tests. I mean, that's how some of these politicians are. When that night, I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's deep. Right. That's hands-on. That's hands-on.
Yeah. So you have a problem with TREC. You can email your representative, and then they came to me and say, can you help them solve it? Of course, I'm going to get to I'm government affairs, so I want to have those inroads. But most politicians are approachable, despite what you might see on social media or TV. They're human. I like to say that. I know people that call people names. They're human. They have fears, anxieties, and everything that we're dealing with. They're just like us. And you've got to remember that. Of course, be respectful. You know, be like, hey, what's up, man? If you don't know someone, but that's with anybody, whether it be the janitor or the politician, you should still be respectful. But most of them are very approachable because they need your vote. So they're going to be approachable and try to help you as best they can.
You know, and I want to do this. This is one of my public service things that I like to do every week, because you're so visible with HAR and you're out front. You're like one of the faces of the organization. If you're active and you go out and you go to different events, you're one of those faces that you'll see on a regular basis if you go to a lot of the HAR events. I'm not sure how often young people approach you for advice, mentorship, and I'm sure with your responsibilities, you can't just reach out and put your arms around every single person who's ever asked for your advice. So for those in our audience who haven't had a chance to meet you before, could you just share a little bit about your professional background, how you evolved to hold the position that you have, so that members of our audience that are on a similar path that you were on can understand how you've evolved to become the professional and the leader that they've seen and enjoyed working with HAR?
Okay. Mentorship is really important to me. I've had some great mentors in my life. I believe in how I try to help people as much as I can to get to where I've been. I stay very involved especially with helping law students get through law school, with scholarships and support. But just in what my advice would be, I'm a mom of 4. I have 2 20-something-year-olds and then 2 younger ones. So I'm a mentor to them as well. And I try to give to them. So then it'll come back. I give to other kids, so it'll come back to mine. But I just stay focused. I mean, my parents never let me use being a Black woman from a small town in West Texas as an excuse not to achieve. So I set my goals out. And even if it takes me, I go out of, kind of not straight to my goal, but I have to kind of meander around. I still focus on that goal. I would say, find someone that you admire and just reach out to them and ask them, like, I looked you up. I admire what you're doing. I aspire to do that. Would you be willing to kind of tell me your career path, whatever it is? For me, it was law. I randomly found a Black woman with kids on the law firm website. I was like, okay, she fits my life. Let me call her. And we became friends. She became a dear mentor of mine. And she gave me, sometimes you just need, especially as a Black person in America, you need that one person to show you it can be done, because it's hard sometimes when you don't have it. I'm one of the few African-American government affairs directors in the nation. I'm the only one in real estate in the entire state of Texas. So a lot of times I definitely stand out because I'm the only person that looks like me in the room. And I never let that determine. I use that to my advantage. So people don't forget.
No, I thank you so much for sharing, because people may meet you. They may not even have an idea that you were raised in West Texas, how you were able to make it here to the city. So I want to thank you so much for your transparency. Having you on the show, I hope it brings to life the Houston Association of Realtors. I hope now this allows members of our audience to put a face with your name.
Yes.
So I want to ask you this, and this will be one of our final questions for you. Okay. So what do you guys have planned at HAR for beginning of 2024? How may members of our audience meet, greet, and interact with you, Ms. Burton? When will be that next opportunity for those realtors who've been on the sideline to get in the game and get involved with HAR on a more serious basis?
Okay, so today we have our Realtor celebration where we're installing our new board of directors and our new chairman, who's going to be Thomas Mouton, who's also our second African-American man to ever be chairman of HAR in the history. So it's a really historical moment. As ways to get involved is to go on Member Focus Monday, which is our Facebook Live show every Monday at 9 a.m. It kind of talks about what's going on. You can go on when you log in to hr.com on your MLS. In the back, it'll have a lot of events. Tree Pack is one way to get involved. They're always having fun, great events to raise money. That's a good way to network. As for me, I have different events throughout the year. We're going to be doing a town hall, member-wide, virtual. So that's going to be interesting and fun to get people feedback and try to get more people involved. I'll have to get you to be one of my moderators, you and Larry, since y'all do this all the time. Also, I do a housing symposium every year. It's an all-day event. It's free. You get 3 hours of CE credit, and you get to learn about all the down payment resources, how to work with the housing authority, different lenders. It's a really great event. We also are going to do H-Town Day in April that people can get involved with, where we'll have different elected officials, college superintendents, presidents, school superintendents, different people to say what's going about why is Houston a great place to live, arts, music. We're going to take that and not do it just in Houston, because we cover 9 counties, but our 5 largest, we'll be doing in Fort Bend, Montgomery County, Brazoria County as well, to touch those people as well who might not come to Houston, our members. So there's a lot going on. To get in contact with me, I do respond. I'm not a politician, so my job is to serve y'all. You can email me, Amber, amber.burton@har.com, and I will get it. You can just call HAR's office. You know, if you're going to the store to buy some signs or get your super key fixed, you can also just ask them, say, hey, you know, can you give this message to Amber? But I'm always available.
I want to thank you so much. And I want to make sure I publicly congratulate Mr. Thomas Mouton personally.
Yeah.
Yes, we're both proud graduates of Dwight D. Eisenhower High School.
Oh, you say you know him?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No
okay,
doubt.
well, I have something I got to get you involved in. Do you know Letitia Grant?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Ms. Grant's a great lady.
Yeah, they're 2 of my favorite members. I know y'all went to high school. Okay, yeah, I'll tell him. Yeah.
I know. Tell him, man. I'm very proud of everything that Thomas Mouton has done, man, because he's dedicated himself to service. He's built his real estate brand. He's built his foundation on serving the people, educating and mentoring, man. So this is for all those proud Golden Eagles out there, man. This is a glorious day, man. And big, huge shout out to Mouton, no doubt.
I love it. And you have to have him on the show.
That'd be outstanding.
Yeah.
Hey, look, from your lips to his ears, no doubt.
Hey, just let me know when. I'll make it happen.
Oh, for sure. Thank you so much. We will definitely talk offline about that, because I'm really excited. I would love to sit down with Moo, man. Thank you so much. Please keep Larry and us in the know as far as everything that's going on with HAR. We want to be a conduit that you all can use. We want to partner with you as much as possible. You know, between Larry, Michael, myself, working with HR is a foundation of what we do. We try to make sure we illustrate the importance of that for all the new agents that come through Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to thank you so much for carving some time out your schedule on a day as busy as gala night. So yes, thank you so much, Amber, man. Please, if you ever want to sit in with Larry and myself, again, you always have a seat with us, Queen. And I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. And just vice versa, keep me in the loop what you guys are doing so I can get that out to other members. I know you guys do a lot in the community and education, so let me know as well.
Thank you so much, Amber. And until next time, Queen, please be blessed and be safe.
You too. All right.
Thank you. Man, great show. Big, huge shout out to the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks, for having Ms. Amber sit in with us. Once again, big, huge shout out to Thomas Mouton. Congratulations, my brother. Big, huge shout out to everyone over at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, Mr. Michael G. Davis. He'll be in the building tonight at the HAR Gala. Mr. Larry W. Brooks will be there as well. Big, huge shout out. And I want to make sure I congratulate all the staff, coaches, students, and players at Summer Creek High School in Humble, Texas. We're playing for the state championship this Saturday at Dallas Cowboys Stadium in Arlington. So big, huge congratulatory shout out to them. I want to wish everyone the best of luck in the game this Saturday. And until next Thursday, around this same time, everyone in the Prime Real Estate Network audience, please be safe and be blessed.